The sun, the sand, the surf, all that is Manhattan Beach. But this weekend, it's all about the beach volleyball as the best beach volleyball players in the world come to the Mecca, Manhattan Beach, for the AVP 2022 Manhattan Beach Open. Welcome inside center court, stadium court here. A dream to play. Of course, Dane Bland alongside indoor volleyball Olympic gold medalist Rich Lambourne. And Rich, it has been incredible so far. The setup here is amazing. The weather is perfect. How happy are you to be in Manhattan Beach?
I love it here. Obviously, this is kind of the Mecca. You and I are playing guess what temperature it is outside with the sleeveless and the hoodie.
I was just too lazy. I didn't get it off.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where it all began. This is the best tournament to win. You get your name on the pier. I mean, it's just excitement start to finish.
Yeah, we have an exciting matchup for us. We had a big upset in the last one, but we are all set to go in this one. It's number 31 versus number 2 for the player introductions. Let's go to Mark Sherman.
We're all set for our next match here on Stadium Court. Man, we had a fun one last one, didn't we? Went 3, we got the upset. Could we be in for another barn burner here in match number 4? Well, these two guys hope so, don't they? Yeah, these two guys playing together at UC San Diego, coming up through the USA volleyball system. Expect to see much, much more of them. First guy coming out of Rochester, New York, playing in his first ever AVP main draw. Let me hear it for Charlie Siragusa. And his partner, also out of UC San Diego, played some high school ball in Hawaii. Most recently calls home Santa Cruz, California. Give it up for Wyatt Harrison. And their opponents. Yesterday, they got their names on the pier. Ladies and gentlemen, your defending Manhattan Beach Open champion. For this first guy, getting his name on the pier for the very first time. He has an incredible story, and ladies and gentlemen, he came back stronger than ever, and he's looking real good right now. Let me hear it for Mr. Try Bourne. And his partner looking to go back to back to back. He's got his name up there twice already on the pier. Could he make it 3 in a row? Give it up for Trevor Crabb.
Well, we're all set to go. Number 31, Wyatt Harrison and Charlie Siragusa going up against the number 2 seed, and a team that has already won this year. They won in Fort Lauderdale, but they are also the defending champions of this event. They're on the right side. That's Try Bourne and Trevor Crabb. On the left side, it is Harrison and Siragusa. So Siragusa and Harrison have their work cut out for them, but if they were watching the last match where the upset happened, they got to feel pretty good about this one.
Yeah, and their coach in the box with them, of course, Jose Loyola, who heads USA Volleyball's development program now, but was in the box with Crabb and Bourne last year when they won this title. So nobody better to give you a game plan than the insider info of the great Jose Loyola.
So I know going into Fort Lauderdale, Trevor Crabb made a guarantee that they would win that event, and they went out and they did that. In the post-game interview, he guaranteed winning in Atlanta, which didn't go quite as planned. And I only bring this up because I know you have your finger on the pulse. Has there been a guarantee for this tournament from Trevor Crabb?
Not that I know of, but as Mark mentioned in the player intros, he is back-to-back winner here, so certainly he's been able to find his groove for a couple years in succession now, and I would not be surprised to see them in this tournament at the end of Sunday.
Bourne and Crabb, defending Manhattan Beach Open champions. 3 AVP titles as partners. There's the first double contact we see. When you take that ball overhand and try to set that with two hands overhand, it's got to come out nice and clean. It cannot touch one hand and then the other. It has to be simultaneous. And if it comes out with a little too much spin, or the ref believes that it's stuck in your hands a little too long, it's a judgment call, and it will be called. The important thing is the standard, right? Set the standard early if you're the referee, and then stick to it.
100%. Yeah, you just want consistency out of the referees. You do put yourself in a difficult position if, like we saw from Charlie, you know, you're facing the net. You're not facing the direction you're trying to set the ball to.
You mentioned Mark Sherman in the intros about Trevor Crabb looking for 3 titles in a row here in Manhattan Beach, which is pretty spectacular. 2 years ago, he won with Reed Pretty. Reed winning his first event as well there. How special is that, being Manhattan? And then last year was Try and Trevor who won, and they had their induction onto the pier yesterday. And how special would that be to win 3 in a row?
Yeah, we can go to our statisticians. I don't imagine there are too many names that have accomplished that. I mean, 3 Manhattan Beach titles is something in and of itself, and to do it in succession would be phenomenal.
Yeah, we'll have to pull those numbers up, but I think maybe Karch Karai pulled that off, and possibly Phil and Todd possibly. We got to get an answer on that one.
Yeah, it shows you how special it is. Even the great Smith and Stokey, Javi Dodd didn't get 3 in succession, I don't believe. Apologies to them if that's incorrect. I like the storyline too of how Trevor and Reed were kind of enemies on the court, teamed up because Try was unavailable, and went out and won this tournament.
Yeah, you're talking about the win with Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something special, and it was due to an injury from Bourne that had happened overseas. I believe he had injured his hand and had to sit out. And there's nothing worse about getting injured and then your partner teaming up with someone else and winning the biggest event.
Right. Yeah. Try got in a boxing match with the referee stand and was outclassed in that particular matchup, apparently. Had to sit that out, and Trevor and Reed, consummate professionals, able to kind of harness that negative energy they had towards one another and turn it into the positive energy necessary to win this tournament. It was like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters, you know? Now look at you, you're researching.
Yeah, I'm doing some history because we have to take care of the legends always. Mike Bright actually won in 1960, 1961, 1962, all with Mike O'Hara. So they won 3 years in a row, actually 4 years in a row. So 61, 2, 3, and 4. And then, of course, Ron Lang, the legendary Ron Lang, winning in 65, 66, and 67. So want to give all the credit where credit is due for 3-time in a row winners here in Manhattan.
Yeah, that looked like 5 in a row actually for Bright and O'Hara there. Wasn't that, Dane? 60 to 64. Yeah, that's called domination of an event right there.
Absolutely, and Bourne and Crabb off to a fantastic start here in set number 1 over Harrison and Siragusa.
Yeah, always a little bit rough when you're playing your first Manhattan Beach Open, and what do you get? You get stadium court against the reigning champs.
So here's a jump float serve, really tough. Kind of mesmerizing. Siragusa cannot handle it. We're still doing our research, figuring out who's won 3 in a row. Just like I had mentioned, Karch Karai did it with Brent Frohoff in 90, Kent Steffes 91, and Karch and Kent again 92. And he also won in 93. So he pulled off 4 in a row. That would be some pretty exclusive company for Trevor Crabb.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Then, as I mentioned, Phil Dahlhauser and Todd Rogers did it three-peat, 2006, 2007, and 2008. And I can say with pretty certain terms that that was the last time it was done. There's a nice little roll shot by Siragusa.
Yeah, points hard to come by right now for the youngsters. But just, you know, the important part is to keep grinding away, try and find your rhythm.
Nice cut shot by Trevor. Cannot be run down. Short serve gets Siragusa in a little bit of trouble, and there's going to be a joust at the net. Great dig in the backcourt by Harrison, and the overhand dig by Trevor Crabb will end it.
Really impressive synchronicity on the part of the blocking defense there, Crabb and Bourne. As he tried dive late to that line, and Trevor just sit in the pocket.
That ball out of bounds, and 15-4 is our scores. Trevor Crabb and Tri Bourne have come out very hot, very businesslike, and very efficient.
That one tried to crawl over.
All sorts of passing trouble for Siragusa and Harrison.
Yeah, always hard to find a rhythm in serve receive against Crabb and Bourne, because Tri gets back there and pops his serve, and then Trevor can kind of dice you up. His serve looks like it's going to be easy-ish, but he really drives it and positions it very well.
As we take the turn, 16-5, you know, you bring up a great point, Rich, and I want to ask you, how effective do you think that is, making sure that the two players on a team are varying their serves? Maybe one has a traditional jump serve, the other one maybe a jump float. How effective can that be?
Well, it can be very effective. You know, I think obviously you got to work with what you got. If you got two guys that have great jumps, you know, if you had like a Jeremy K-Spear playing alongside a Tri Bourne and they were both back there popping jump serves, you know, you'd be good with that. You want guys to hit their best serve and their most effective serve, and it just so happens to be nice if you got kind of one of each, because, you know, as a receiver it's very difficult to find a rhythm if you're constantly seeing different looks.
Speaking of finding a rhythm, no team this year has won multiple titles in the Pro and Gold Series events on the AVP Tour. Paul Latman and Miles Partain, who won the first Gold Series 2 weeks ago, they were upset just moments ago by Cervantes and Safe, the number 30 seed, knocking them down. And it is just a beautiful day here in Manhattan Beach. A Friday. Many people coming down, calling in sick for work, as they should. I mean, as summer starts to wind up here, and to watch the best beach volleyball players in the world. Bourne and Crabb with a commanding lead, 17-15.
Harrison Siragusa wish it was 17-15. But I think it's just 17-5, unfortunately for them.
Did I say 15?
Yeah.
Oh, man. 17-5. Thank you, Rich Lamborn. And it's just been all Tri and Trevor just picking their spots all over the court.
Yeah, and that's a look at something that they do extremely well. Set each other in transition. If they get a hand on a ball, you can bet that one of them is going to have an opportunity to swing for a point. Try with a wonderful shot there.
That serve, float serve, takes off a little bit, ends up out of bounds. 18-6 in favor of Tri and Trevor.
With the scoop in the middle, 7-8.
Nice play right there by Harrison. We need a little more of that here. And now that this first set is, it's almost an insurmountable lead. You want to get your feet under you and try to get that momentum back on your side.
Yeah, you just try to start building towards set number 2. Getting a little bit of comfort, Siragusa and Harrison, I think. Just made a nice defensive turn there for a point. And now it's just trying to get into a rhythm in your side-out game.
Oh, and that roll shot does not even make it to the net. So Harrison and Siragusa having a tough go at it here in set number 1. And there's a confusion, and on the first opportunity for the set, it's Tri and Trevor who wins set number 1, 21-17. Siragusa and Harrison had a tough one. They're going to have to talk it over right now and see if they can turn things around in set number 2.
It's the choices we make that define us.
Tri and Trevor is coming off a tough, heartbreaking loss.
And ultimately, the enemy is within. Some people want it. Some wish for it. But others make it happen.
Tri and Trevor, super lethal, bringing fire and passion to the court.
How will you take charge?
I'm Carrie Walsh Jennings. I've played with lots of injuries and sore muscles. KT tape has helped me push past the pain. Today, clinical studies prove what I've always known, that using KT tape before, during, and after workouts can reduce muscle soreness. Whether it's the Olympics or the local gym, pain is pain.
Tape up with KT tape, the #1 kinesiology tape. Use it for muscle soreness and many common injuries. KT tape, train longer, finish stronger.
KT tape works for me, it'll work for you.
At Corner Bakery, we're making your choice simple with choose 2 options every day. Choose 2 of your favorites and turn a simple lunch into a perfectly paired meal. And we're not talking about a few choose 2 options. Pair up any sandwich or panini, any cafe fresh salad or warm simmering soup, or any pan sauteed pasta. So many kitchen crafted options, so little time. Your perfect choose 2 combination is waiting at the Corner Bakery.
Welcome back to Stadium Court here in Manhattan Beach. There's none other than Sean Rosenthal, beach volleyball legend, Olympic athlete in 2008 and in 2012. Won the Manhattan Beach Open with Phil Dahlhauser back in 2014, and so he's enjoying himself. It's always so fun to watch Sean Rosenthal. He played with such passion and such athleticism.
Unbelievable athleticism. Probably one of the best natural athletes to ever play our sport, I would argue, and always came with his pack of raiders, especially to the local South Bay tournaments.
Rosenthal actually won with Jake Gibb in 2009 and Phil Dahlhauser in 2014, so he has his name on the pier twice.
I always found it such an interesting dichotomy too. Rosie, one of the nicest, most humble, kind of quiet guys you'll meet in our sport, right? Just a great dude, and then he traveled with a pack of wild maniacs in the Raiders.
You're absolutely right. Charlie Siragusa starting to get things going. Siragusa spent 1 year at Brigham Young, didn't play there, but then he transferred to UC San Diego, where he played for 3 seasons of indoor volleyball, and he's a tall one at 6'9", puts up a big block up at the net.
Yeah, as we mentioned, kind of under the tutelage of Jose Loyola and the USA Development Program that has just kind of recently started in a formal capacity. And I like to see kind of the demeanor in between sets. You know, obviously they took a beating in the first set, but Jose just had nothing but smiles and said, hey guys, you know, not much else can go wrong for us out there. Let's just relax, play our game, and see if we can't find a little rhythm. It seems to be working thus far in the second.
Yeah, when you get beat 21-7, you don't, doesn't do you much good harping on the player. So a smart move. You just want to get them to start to feel comfortable. That's when people play their best.
Yep. Yeah, just a bundle of enthusiasm out there. Jose Loyola, one of the all-time greats in our sport. We can go to the history books and find his name on the pier quite a few times as well. Different partners. I saw Adam Johnson in there. I saw Bones, they used to call him when he was out here, Emmanuel Rigo.
Emmanuel Rigo, and of course his first partner on the AVP tour, Anginho, who was just a spectacular person and individual. So fun to have him out on the court. I remember watching them play in the early 90s when I was still in college, and some of the things they would do were just spectacular. The defense of Anginho and the vertical ability of Jose was off the charts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we showed Rosie, we talked a lot about Rosie, and we're all kind of familiar with his Vegas line that has, you know, some notoriety from YouTube and so forth. I remember watching when Jose and Anginho just came over in like '93, watching him warm up and just had 2 balls on like the 1-foot line in warm-ups. It was something special to behold.
Siragusa trying to go high over the block, but no touch right there. Angle of approach a little straight.
Yeah, you know, and it's tough to say. He chose the right shot there, just kind of didn't find the range. I would tend to agree with you that over the long term, you want a little bit more of an angular approach from that left side.
Try Bourne with an open court in the corner, and he executes.
Yeah, but that time, to your point, Dane, a little better approach from Siragusa there. Got some pop on it. Just Crabb and Bourne made a nice defensive play, as they're wont to do.
7-5, Bourne and Crabb leading. Tight pass by Siragusa. And Try Bourne thought that ball was out. I think he could have made a play on that.
Looked like maybe he could have. Sometimes you keep a little bit in the tank if you've beaten an opponent 21-7.
It's a long tournament. You bring up a good point. This is the only tournament that has 32 teams in the main draw. Most tournaments have 16 in 2022, so hence the early start on Friday. Also had over 100 qualifier teams. As we take a look at the AVP schedule from here, it goes to Virginia Beach, Chicago, Phoenix, Huntington, Clearwater, and then Central Florida in early December. So a long season going all the way into December. I think that's the first time I've seen an event in December. But right now, what the players are focused on is the Gold Series. 2 weeks ago was at Atlanta. This week it is in Manhattan Beach. And then in a few weeks during Labor Day, it will be in Chicago. And 2 of those 3 events, your best 2 of 3 get you into the Phoenix AVP Championships, and that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal, yeah. It's going to be almost a throwback to the old hot winter nights in that it's played indoors in the Phoenix Suns Arena in Phoenix, so that'll be an unbelievable event. And as you mentioned, you got to finish well in at least 2 out of 3 Gold Series events to book your ticket there.
And if you're wondering how that works, they bring in 20, 30 dump trucks of sand, construct a beautiful center court in that arena, and it's a little beach volleyball in the winter.
Yeah, and then everyone encourages you to try and skyball into the scoreboard indoors.
That's true. That event taking place late September. But you referenced the hot winter nights, which was a winter tour that took place years ago that the AVP had, which was pretty spectacular. Going to a lot of the arenas that the NBA teams played in, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just a chance for, you know, fans who might not ordinarily see beach volleyball live during the summer months, got a chance to come and enjoy a taste of summer even during the off season.
Try Bourne. Line-to-line serve. Catches Harrison a little bit off guard, but wow! Harrison just ripping that ball across court. Try Bourne, a little duck and cover.
Little duck and cover, yeah. I really like that, though, from Harrison. You know, we saw him miss a short shot attempt at the end of set 1, and, you know, my thought at the time was you just got to stay aggressive, especially if things aren't rolling your way. You're not going to kind of cheap your way out of it with a little soft stuff. Got to stay aggressive, and they're doing a nice job of that in this second set.
So Siragusa and Harrison definitely off to a better start in the second set, and trying to reverse things around. As there's a good look at Try and Trevor getting some feedback, always trying to get better. And this is a team that's going to try to make a run for Paris.
Yeah, 100%, and in pretty good position to do so. You know, there's a little bit of shakeup on the World Tour as far as the qualification system. We don't know entirely perfectly what it is just yet, but we'll have a couple good teams in the mix at the beginning of next season when that window opens, and Try and Trevor will be kind of leading that charge.
Highest jump there you see, Try Bourne 25.7, Trevor Crabb 25.6. These guys are big time athletes and can get up huge and hit that ball at a very high level. As we come out of the technical timeout, what a beautiful day here in Manhattan Beach. All these analytics and stats, the jump height, all brought to you by Connexon. Every player has a sensor on their body that's tracking their distance traveled, their height, their jump, how many jumps they take. And it's not only a great tool for the fans to see different analytics, a lot of players can use those Connexon sensors to aid in their training.
Yeah, certainly it's kind of been shocking to me how much distance everybody covers throughout a match. You know what I mean? We're talking about a mile plus of distance traveled in any given match. You know, so that's why I have my guys training for a marathon now.
You didn't realize you could be 14, 15,000 feet.
Right.
But if you think about it, you're kind of always walking around, even in between plays. And here comes Siragusa, and Try had the right move, but that ball somehow gets through.
Yeah, to put that in perspective for the layman, myself included, you know, I mean, just dragging your backpack from the car out to the water seems like a chore. So covering mileage, plural, on the sand here during matches is really impressive by all these athletes.
Let's look at Try Bourne. In 2017, he had a rare autoimmune issue, disease, and took him a while to figure it out. He was getting weak, losing a lot of strength, couldn't play, had to take the entire year off, and there was questions, would he return? And wow, has he returned better than ever. One of the most fit athletes on tour, and you know, I think it got him even to focus more on really focusing on taking care of himself, his diet. He is just an optimum machine.
Yeah, I mean, it necessitated it, certainly. And if you look at him now, it's hard to imagine a kind of emaciated version of that frame, which is unfortunately what the reality was in 2017. I mean, it was kind of wild because he and John Hyden had made such a strong push towards the Rio Olympic Games, and quite frankly had been in position to qualify if it weren't for the country quota of, you know, two teams maximum per country. And then, you know, again, you look at him now, and I mean, the guy's just an absolute cyborg out there.
I want to get on that program.
Yeah.
16-12 here in the second set. Winner will play Dahlhauser and Sutton, or Landell and Prima. So Dahlhauser with a pretty low seed, and that's because of his partner lacking points, Sutton. And we mentioned earlier, Phil Dahlhauser, the only male player to win twice on tour. He won in Austin with Andy Benish. That was Andy Benish's first win, and then he won a couple weeks later in New Orleans, and that was with Casey Patterson. But no team together has won twice on the 2022 season, and Trevor and Try trying to make it happen. And big hit cross court by Trevor.
Yeah, I love the effort, though, on the side of Harrison and Siragusa, just doing everything they can to stay in this match.
Here's a good look at that rip cross court, and there's that hustle you're talking about. It can only give a great team so many opportunities, right? Or they're going to make you pay for it. It's so important to capitalize.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you're a coach. You certainly try and instill in your players that effort is rewarded. Yeah, what Phil's partner lacks in points, he makes up for in hairstyle. I don't know if you've seen Johnny Sutton out there.
Is it better than Casey Patterson?
His lid, yeah, it would be a neck and neck for who has more product in it, but he's got the hawk. It's standing up off of his head. I mean, it is gorgeous if you're into that sort of thing. And it juxtaposes nicely against Phil's cleanly shaven head.
Little joust at the net, won by Harrison. And Try Bourne would like to have that one back.
Yeah, right as we were talking about what a cyborg he is, Harrison beats him in a joust, but one of the few times that'll happen, no doubt.
High off the block. What impresses me most about Try and Trevor right now, really composed, just very businesslike, not a lot of antics, just really trying to get it done. And that's because this is a longer tournament than normal. It goes 3 days, and you want to get off the sand and get some rest as soon as possible, and you can see that's their focus.
Yeah, you always want to stay in the winner's bracket anytime you can, but even more important here with an extra round.
Somewhat playing, somewhat toying with the opposition right now. Tryon Trevor in complete control as we arrive at match point.
Yeah, I love that, though. You can kind of see Trev goes up and keeps that arm high, and as soon as he realizes there's no block there, he just kind of pikes on it for the kill.
Match point number 1 for Tryon Trevor. They go to Siragusa. Siragusa hits that deep corner. Smart shot. And you talked about Jose Loyola. Maybe they're learning that from him, because I've seen a lot of deep corner shots by Harrison and Siragusa.
Yeah, you get the well-rounded Brazilian, almost kind of hybrid insight from Jose Loyola. You know, he's been in the States now for quite a long time, as we mentioned, but still has those Brazilian roots, and a lot of his assistant coach is Brazilian as well. And so you get the high rep scheme. You know, these guys are learning at a very fast pace. And tough match here, but no doubt we'll see more of them in the future.
Well, there you have it on the second match point. Tryon Trevor are successful at getting the ball to the ground as the number 2 seed of Tryon Trevor take out the number 31 seed of Siragusa and Harrison. So they will drop down to the contenders bracket and try to battle back. Tryon Trevor will have one more match this afternoon. This men's match wraps up the first round of competition for the men as we take a look at the highlights.
You're going to see a lot of Tryon Trev in these highlights, I think. Just impeccable defense, impeccable ball control. Just kind of a really, like you mentioned, a business-like effort from them, and smooth execution from the reigning champs.
So Tryon Trevor on a mission here. So we take a look at the statistics of the match, and hitting efficiency, wow, off the charts.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot when we see these stats, is if you're out hitting your opponents by 400 or 500 points, good things are happening on your side of the net. Yeah, and the other one that stands out is 10 errors to 4 errors. Can't give a team like Tryon Trevor free points to that extent.
Well, that'll wrap things up here for the first round of the men on Stadium Court. It's Tryon Trevor, last year's Manhattan Beach champion, advancing to the second round.